Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. Thank you so very much for joining me. This is an updates and a peek at my room video. Usually I do updates on the weekend, but the weekend was busy, and if you saw my video, I think it came out Friday morning, you won't believe this video. I mean, the amount of progress I have made since then. I think I filmed that Thursday evening, and I believe it rolled out Friday morning, and this is Monday evening. Now, I did have Monday off, so that makes it a bit different. But anyway, if you're new here, welcome. I'm going to show you what I picked up at some thrift stores and out and about, and then we're going to look around my room. These were like odds and ends, little things that were piling up. About a week or so ago, I went to a sale. Some kids were selling stuff, and they were doing a fundraiser. They were going to do a family thing. So they had the Family Circles Pocket Guide to Collectibles. I like these little pictures. These would be really fun to cut out and make ephemera with. The color of this is just fabulous. Look at all these little pictures. I thought, yep, I better have that. And then I bought an atlas. And if you're new here, I didn't need an atlas. I have maps. I have a giant atlas, but I wanted it. And these kids were cute, and it was a fundraiser. So I think I gave them $2, and I pretty much gave them all the change I had is what I did. So I gave them more than two, but which I thought was funny because one kid said $1 for anything. Like a guy picked up this cool vintage wooden box. I don't know if there was anything in it. He was like, "How much?" And the kid's like, $1. Then I picked this up, $1. This, $1. It was pretty funny. Maps are great for ephemera making. The inside cover of a journal, I mean, you could do the outside too, but I've used them on the inside. If you had one from a state that was like sentimental or a part of the state that you wanted, because this is an Oregon map and I live in Oregon, so maybe I want to do one that is a certain area, or you went on day trips all up and down the gorge, something like that. Great and super cheap ephemera. And this is, most atlases, they're not shiny. So you can ink on them. You can do all sorts of stuff. I don't, but you could. Okay, then I don't know if it was the same day. It doesn't matter. I went to the Oregon Humane Society thrift store. It's downtown in Salem, and it's just a cute little place. They almost always have a free book cart, and there's a paw punched here and a punched paw. So I got this thesaurus. The color isn't amazing, but I mean, it was free, right? It was on the rack, and you could tea dye these, whatever. And then I got the complete works of Shakespeare, Volume 1. I like Shakespeare. I mean, I might read this. I think I might have another book somewhere. But I also loved, look at the size of the font. It's very small. That's fun for ephemera making. The pages feel nice and free. How could you not? And the cover's cool too. I mean, it has a tear in it, but let's be honest, I'm going to tear it. Did I need more books? Nope. There's probably some here in the cupboard of shame and the other cupboard of overflow. Okay, then this weekend, even though I was supposed to be cleaning my room and doing things, my friend Noni went to a garage sale in our neighborhood that was unbelievable. Now, it was, what's the brand? Okay, Close to My Heart is what Crafty Eileen sold. It wasn't that one. It was Creative Memories, which I don't know where I stand on Creative Memories paper. Just so you know, I don't have any recent experience with it, so I'm like flashing back to super dated. But anyway, Noni went to a garage sale, $30, two, I would say, knee or hip height stacks of things. She said it was stickers and papers. When I got there 30 minutes later, it was gone. So then I was kind of twitching, like, oh, we're letting the bargains get away. But who knows? Maybe I would have looked at it and said no. And Noni doesn't use stickers and printed paper. If you're new here, that's my neighbor who I sucked into paper crafting, and she stamps and colors and stencils exquisitely. Like, her attention to detail is well beyond mine. So she doesn't use pattern paper. She's not really into it. She bought a lot of it and then figured herself out. So that's why she didn't think we needed $30 worth of paper. She does think we need all the stamps of the world, but I'm trying to tell her we don't. So anyway, that day, I was like dressed by then and puttering around. So I went to another yard sale in our area and got a bunch of 9x12 mailers They were just in their free bin. And then that afternoon, I went to the Humane Society thrift store again. And this book was on the free cart, Country Crafts Quilting. Now, I don't need this book, and it has a really nice cover, and it has a lot of cool pictures. But what I really liked about it is the cover. This and this, they're not shiny, and they're gorgeous. So what I'm thinking is, and I don't know why I haven't done it yet. It wasn't just because I was going to show you. It was because I get sidetracked, because I've been busy. I would take a little X-Acto knife or scissors or something and just cut this right out and put it in my stash. And then I'm going to put this book in our little library down the street. I'm not going to damage the book itself. It's kind of cute. Then this one is, oh, this is a find. And this one, so the quilting one was on the free cart. I saw it when I went in. I thought, if it's not meant to be mine, it'll be gone when I come back. And it was still there. This one I actually bought. Now, the way it works at our thrift store is hardbacks are $3. Well, I'm probably not going to pay hardback $3, right, to tear it up and do things with. I make a lot of cards, but I do a lot of junk journaling too, so I damage things. But the color dots meant it had been there a long time. So this book I paid 75 cents for. It's called Pictorial History of American Presidents by John and Alice Durant. And you're thinking, doesn't look that cool. Well, I just went down the aisle and then I looked for the blue tags because I knew they would be cheap. Look at this. Okay, now Nancy is on a long bicycle ride, but when she gets back, she's going to be jealous of this. So nothing in here is shiny. Has all of these old pictures. You didn't have to buy them. You didn't have to buy them one by one. You can cut them up for ephemera, even just a section of that. Has a lot of text and small stuff. I mean, it is full of old paintings and old sketches and all kinds of stuff. Now, is it a good book? I don't know. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to come in here, and I probably won't use like a big picture like this, but some of these with the little boats, that would be fun for travel ephemera. She looks like she's up to something. I'm not going to use any word they're like slaughtering people. This is cool architecture. Look at this. I mean, we would buy this in an ephemera pack, and I got it for 75 cents in a book, and I have over 300 pages of entertainment. So pretty cool, huh? Don't be afraid. Nancy really does a good job looking at book sales at libraries, and she goes to book sales a lot to get ephemera things. She's been talking to me about it, and I've been trying to do better. But don't be afraid to really look around. I mean, just because they didn't have cool stuff in their scrapbooking and papercraft section doesn't mean they didn't have cool stuff. I also figured out at Oregon Humane Society, the sewing and knickknacks and all that and thread is not by the paper crafting stuff. It's behind it. So that took me a while. And the scissors were way at the other end. So I got a spool. This was actually only a quarter of red thread because I feel like I'm kind of low, but Katie said she'll cover me. And of course, when I got home, I didn't need red. Okay, I want to show you this thing. It had the tag and I was going to remind myself. So I was doing a bunch of journaling and I was using my fancy little garbage box because I wanted something to stand things up in. And I went all around my house and I thought, I need something to stand things up in. I don't want to spill this all, but you guys get the idea, right? That I could use. And I have this big plastic divider thing that I store Christmas ephemera and Christmas stuff in, but it was too deep. It's like 6 or 8 inches deep. And then I have a bunch of these things, but this takes 2 hands and I'm not going to fiddle with this. And then I have this, but it's one thing and it's clearly full of junk. I mean, I probably could have emptied it out, but you get the idea. So when I saw this thing, it was brand new, tag still on it. I was like, oh, I'm bringing that home. And it's blue. I mean, it's not cobalt, but it'll work. And I was super excited. I mean, I think I paid like $4 for it, but it was exactly what I had been searching my house for. One thing that's a little tricky about it is because it doesn't have sides, right? The stuff can get away. I can't necessarily like carry it out to the deck, but well, if I was feeling lucky, I could. I'm going to throw this away. I looked this brand up and it's not very inexpensive. So that might be why it was $4 too. They may have been smarter than me. that same day. Oh, and then I picked these up. Decal. Again, these weren't like the most awesome bargain, but Nancy has been talking about she uses mini pinking, like if it says mini pinking right here, to make her stamp edges and stuff and ephemera and make it interesting. And you know, Tim Holtz has the big decal cutter now. I'm not going to buy a decal cutter because it has a really big item to store. And I am so messy. If you're new here and you don't know, I can't handle a lot of stuff. I have to be able to manage it. So I thought these would be nice for ephemera, or, you know, if you stamp little things and you're trying to make, or like the end of this, right? Like, it's better than a straight edge. I like it. Okay, so that was my big splurge. I think those were like $2, which isn't that a lot. That seemed like a lot to me, but it was like the blue divider thing. I just wanted it. Noni picked each one of these up for 10 cents. She went to a sale and got us a bunch of sheet music. I love this. It's so yellowed and it's Winter Wonderland. Look at all that good blue. And then Jingle Bells. So do I need sheet music? No. Actually, Nancy took good care of me and I have some. But maybe we're just rebuilding my stash so I never have to open the cupboard to shame. I did show someone. Noni and I have a new neighbor that's fun, and I opened the cupboard and showed her, but Noni doesn't think I should have done that. Might have scared her away. These are going to be sitting out when we look around, and I need to clean up, but you know why they're out. I'm going to even put the thread in the thread drawer right now. Who am I? I know, it's crazy. My battery died, so I had to have an intermission, so I put those things away and tidied up just a little bit more. I mean, pretty much it looks the same. Then let me just walk you around. I'm having trouble with my command strips. They're falling off of my fancy walls. Anybody have any ideas? Maybe it's like a 5-year thing and then they fall down. This is not a heavy canvas. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, that one I could understand. I made some adjustments here today because I got a new bin. That's a different video that'll come out later about an estate sale find. But I was excited for the bin too. So I cleaned up the bin and I put journals and stuff in it. So 1, 2, 3 are all cards and journals that are done and ready to go to a craft fair. Then this is my bin of craft fair stuff that doesn't fit in there anymore. This is part of the stuff from the estate sale. Like I said, another video. And then over here, not bad. These need to be sorted. They need work. A while ago, I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but I cleaned out the top drawer that's just to my left when I'm crafting and filming. And I put these 2 things in, and then I started putting Happy Mail that I get and the die cuts you send me and things that I make in here. And then I stopped using them. I don't know. I don't open the drawer. So clearly the drawer, even though I thought it was brilliant, it was super close, it doesn't work for me. This is an accumulation of many items that were on the counter and in different bowls when I had to combine them. So those 2 things need to be cleaned out. Then there's a pile of red and the Happy Mail from Nancy that I shuffled again. There's a project in there. We watched Gail Agostinelli do something. And so Nancy went to Joann and bought what we think is the same stuff. It's, you sew and then you get it wet and it like melts away. So instead of each of us having extra product left, this is to make the cover with. So I don't know. We're going to try it out. We're not 100% sure it's the same thing, but you know, you don't want to buy a package of something to do it one time, because what if you don't love it? Okay, the stamps, I did not clean those while we were off. Looks pretty good though. Look at this counter. So this is where I film and there's lots of space here. Then this is still pretty loaded for nature journals and nature here. I have a little tray of stuff and I don't know what that is. I thought I would use it for nature, but I didn't. It's a bunch of like flowers and stuff cut out of books and magazines. These things, because I have more nature journals, I left out. But the first probably 3 already have those in them. Here's all my scraps for those journals and little bits I was using. Then this section right here, I think is going to be a blue journal. It's stuff I was cleaning off the table and setting aside as I put it all together and started tidying up. So there's I almost tripped on my chair. There is no big table in the middle of the room, and this is what it looks like. Still messy, but you know, we get it. These are the books I just showed you. I just set them there and put the big atlas in the cupboard of shame. And then this is kind of a new section. I did this different. This was die cutting and it was a fairly cleaned off section. Now it is to do. So these are card fronts that have been around and were in a Smash Our Stash. These are cardboard things I should paint, ink, emboss something because I think they'd be cool for journal covers, but not brown. Tony sent me a bunch of red, white, and blue paper. She's lost her mind. We got to keep her off of Amazon, you guys. It's really thin, so I think it would be great for envelopes. So what I thought I would do is go through this package, thin it out, like split it in half because, I mean, look at this thing. This is a lot of paper because I'm going to see her next month. So I'll give her half of it, maybe make some envelopes for her too, and then I'll cut some squares and make envelopes. So that's what I need to do. I want to make some of these for the travel journals: adventure, journey, discover, explore, go see, do, found. I thought, well, if I'm ever going to use them, it's now. And then all of those journals that were spread all over are all right here, and they're marked. This one, I think it needs a tip out in the top. This one says I stopped here when I was decorating. They're all sewed together, except, I don't know if you guys saw that one. There was one in the corner, I don't know why, by the blue painting when it was over there, that my stamp one, it never got sewed together. So in that video on, I think Thursday, I said it's called fall stash or autumn stash. We were going through my craft stash and then I did updates at the end. Anyway, in that video, I said there were 2 to sew together. There were 3 and I missed it. I didn't find it till later. I'm going to grab this and put it in my watching TV with Mr. Crafting and Relaxing pile and sort it. And I mean, it doesn't look bad. If you're new here, you're like, oh, she's really messy. But if you've been around, you're like, wow. This, I mean, for me, this looks good. I don't know what I'm going to do with that estate sale pile just yet. In theory, it should go in the cupboard of shame. In reality, it's probably going to get piled under those little bins or something. But I might just leave it there when I go. So here we are. I mean, it's pretty good, right? No 6-foot table in the middle. I vacuumed it yesterday, but then have done some more crafting since then. So it would probably take me like a half hour at least to clean those stamps. So I'm definitely not doing that. I need some dinner. And I'm leaving for Memphis in the morning. And I'm as curious as you to find out what crafty project I'm taking with me this time. Because I haven't put anything together. I was waiting to see if I finished smashing my small pad. I had a couple ideas. I'll have to go back and think. One of them, I could take scrap cards, like I was thinking. The other one was, what if I take something like this and a journal? But I don't think I have a journal. Maybe this one. Maybe I could take it, but I don't know. That cover's so pretty. I don't think I want to just like junk that one up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like this is a very floral, beautiful cover. The junk, the really junky journals, you can make with anything and it doesn't matter what you bring with you. One time I went to the beach with a pretty empty journal and I had a great time. I just had to use what I brought and it was pretty much just the bottom of my Joya Blue bin. So I don't think I have another journal that will go. This is mostly blue stuff I was setting aside and I have some fabric scraps. So I don't know what I'm going to take, but it's a really short trip, 3 nights. So I don't need too much. And we're switching hotels every day because I want to stay in 3 different states. So that won't be quite as relaxing as it could have been. I'm sure Mr. Crafting and Relaxing is super happy about that, but he hasn't said a word. He just booked the hotels accordingly. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing. And, you know, you don't need this much stuff. Oh, good heavens. Bye-bye.